Snatched looks like a good premise on the front. So she's Amy Schumer is a young woman who is planning a holiday in Ecuador. Then, in a very funny opening sequence, she breaks up with her boyfriend. It's a really terrific sequence. Laughed several times in it. She's then stuck because the tickets are non-refundable. And so she goes to her mum, Goldie Hawn, who is a homebody, who worries about her cats and doesn't like getting out at all. And she says, Mum, the tickets are non-refundable. I want you to help me put the fun in non-refundable. So Goldie Hawn reluctantly agrees. They go on a mum and daughter holiday. And of course, as the title says, and as you know from the very, very beginning of the film, they are promptly kidnapped. Cue lots of action adventure with jokes about a mum and daughter having been kidnapped, having to not be kidnapped. Here's a clip.
Can I help you, ma'ams?
He's American. Oh my God, we're Americans. Hi, Emily, and this is Linda.
Hi.
You don't even understand the ordeal that we have just been through. We really need to get to the U.S. consulate in Bogota as soon as possible, kind of. So if you know the easiest way.
The easy way. They were laughing at something else. Oh, you got mountain ranges to the north, jungles to the east and west. Well, the mighty one, the river, well, she's to the south. There is no easy trek. There's a reason they call Colombia the sack of the Jaguar. Tell you what, I've got a slow boat headed downriver. I can take east along the Amazon and stretch it up north. Name's Roger Simmons. Boat stock's just out back. Crew's getting her seaworthy as we speak, so I'll check in with them then. Come back for you.
Thank you.
Senor! Chicken wings for the ladies.
See, here's the obvious problem.
I wouldn't go with them.
Okay, but more importantly, did that sound like a comedy or an adventure?
An adventure.
Okay. One of the problems with adventure comedies is often that they start off with a lot of comedy at the front, and then the adventure and the plot takes over and the comedy wanes. And as the comedy wanes and we're left with just, a very nuts and bolts adventure thing, because that's what the film kind of turns into, interest in the film starts to get less and less. This starts very strongly. As I said, there's a very funny breakup scene. There's some funny stuff with her and her mum, which made me think that this was actually going to end up being like, do you remember that film, The Guilt Trip, with Seth Rogen and Barbara Streisand, that she's his mum and they have to go on a road trip together?
I don't think I saw that one. Although a lot of Seth Rogen films tend to blur.
No, I know, but this was actually an exception, and it's a very funny film. They're stuck together in a car. They have to do a road trip together, and because all the way through it's a character comedy film. In the case of this, it literally 15 minutes in, and I mean it's almost like you put a stopwatch on it. 15 minutes in, the adventure kicks in, and the laughs stop. And what was really disappointing about it was, at the beginning, I thought, oh, actually, okay, this is funny, this is sharp, this is, and the breakups is lovely, and I like Goldie Hawn, and that's, I like the way, and I like the setup, and I was thinking, oh, yeah, because I remember the fun that I had watching Guilt Trip, and then it was like, dunk, it's turned into the Kidnap movie, and now there's just going, and okay, fine, there are moments during the rest of it in which there are a couple of chuckles, and, but generally, they are completely sidelined with the mechanics of a plot about which I don't care, and the machinations of a sort of thriller thing which I'm not involved in whatsoever. And then in the middle of that, there are individual sort of character comedy bits, like there's the guy in the federal department who they keep ringing on the phone to say, you've got to help us, and his answer is, I'm not going to. Yeah, fine, the thing you need to do is to get you away to the embassy in Bogota. And that's quite funny. But the rest of it, all the stuff about running around in the jungle and being chased and the action stuff, and it's just really, really perfunctory. And it's a shame, because there was a moment when I thought, and I saw it just the same day that I saw King Arthur, I think. And there was a moment when I thought, oh, good. Here we go. I'm going to get laughs. I'm going to get chuckles. And then they stopped. So it's not terrible, because there is 15 minutes of quite funny stuff. And then after that, there's I think the film's only about 90 minutes long, but boy, it felt longer. And it's a shame, because it just shambled and, and plodded around. And I just kept thinking, just go back to the thing at the beginning. Go back and do another thing about breaking up with the boyfriend.
It's
Because
interesting
that was
because
funny.
Amy Schumer is so funny.
She is very funny.
And you would imagine that she could take the straightest situation and get some comedy out of it.
Okay, but here's the thing. The problem is that the movie is too big. The problem is that the movie is so bogged down with its adventure narrative that the comedy gets sidelined. It's a really weird thing. And in a way, you've kind of perfectly nailed it. Yes, she's really funny. And she's really, as I said, the thing with just her and the other guy sitting across each other, having a conversation. I laughed all the way through it. And then the stuff with her and Goldie Hawn when they're at home, I laughed all the way through that. And then the minute it starts becoming the action adventure thing, there's just too much mechanics going on. There's too much stuff. It's funny, but comedy, everyone always said this, comedy is almost the smaller, the better. The less baggage, the less heavy goods vehicles involved in putting it on, the funnier it is, which is why I've always thought that 1941 was such an unfunny film.